So what we really, really need on the XRP ledger is a fantastic, like US dollar stablecoin, European Euro stablecoin. If we had really good stablecoins in the major currencies, which we don't have yet, then using the DEX would be more practical. So that's also something that we're talking to banks and larger financial institutions about trying to get them to launch some premium stablecoins to make that more practical.
Is we need these stablecoins on the ledger. So how can we have deep pools of liquidity if we don't have premium stablecoins that are KYC regulated and could continuously issue them?
Question, I think it's often misunderstood. I absolutely view stablecoins as a complement and even an accelerant to what Ripple's doing at its core. And I think stablecoins are a complement to what we're doing. In fact, there might be instances where we would use stablecoins within RippleNet for certain use cases.
It would make sense that there's some kind of stablecoins on RippleNet ODL. Will get expanded, but it's not there to drive the price of XRP. It's there to drive the liquidity of XRP, because if you get XRP as liquid to as many assets as possible, that's the goal. That's what ODL is doing, but it's not yet running through its main liquidity source. And then instead of incentivizing market makers and other entities, it's going to come on Ledger.
One of the things that's been missing on the XRP Ledger DEX is like a large number of high quality assets. Like there's XRP, and then there's a long tail of interesting stablecoins, but not like a high quality US dollar stablecoin obviously is extremely important. A high quality US dollar stablecoin obviously is extremely important. So, and the Euro stablecoin.
Anything new on the horizon that you guys are paying attention to? Like, you know what? I think this might be the next thing that might be big and in the crypto industry and blockchain industry.
I mean, I'm going to dodge that question. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm dodging that one.
Okay.
We have started a major effort to integrate DEX use into ODL, and that would include being able to trade against AMMs.
Automated market makers, I think, will help improve that liquidity because they can capture a long tail of assets better than technologies like order books can.
And a sort of secret sauce that will allow liquidity providers to get more of the profits normally lost to arbitrage, and it will be bolstered by incentive programs. The value proposition of XRP is that it has these liquidity pools. Automated market makers on the XRP ledger could be a game changer, uniquely positioning it to leapfrog other DEXs.
The XRP ledger is poised to become an ecosystem of cooperatively interconnected XRPL protocol chains.
The value proposition of XRP is that it has these liquidity pools.
Early vision was these pools of liquidity that everybody can contribute to and everybody can draw off.
Welcome to the DeFi Standard, and this is Mickey B. Fresh. Ripple's blockbuster announcement last week that they will be launching a USD pegged stablecoin later this year. And they enter the $150 billion stablecoin market. And this is a natural step as it continues to bridge the gap between crypto and traditional financial markets. The stablecoin market is expected to reach a forecast of $2.8 trillion by 2028. Ripple's stablecoin has been in the works for the past year. And a quote from David Schwartz says, "Our differentiator is going to be the fact that our assets are going to be in dollars, treasuries, rock solid. We're not trying to juice the last couple of decimal points out of this. We're looking to conquer the market and be in it for a long time. In a world where crypto's worth can plummet faster than you can say X, trust is king, and Ripple's not just launching a stablecoin. They're promising a fortress of security backed by the mighty US dollar and government treasuries. They're telling the world, hey, you can count on us. But Ripple's strategy is clear: to bring together the suits and ties of the banking world and the free spirits of the crypto space under one roof. They are not just aiming for a spot in the market. They're looking to redefine the game. With their stablecoin, they're pitching a tent where traditional assets and cryptocurrencies can party together, breaking down the walls that have kept them apart. The stakes are high. The crypto market is crowded, cutthroat, and constantly evolving. And Ripple's making a play not to just survive, but to thrive. With the launch planned later this year, they're not just testing the waters, they're diving in headfirst into the deep end. So what does all this mean? It means Ripple's betting its future on bridging the gap between the old world of money and the new frontier of crypto. And there you have it. So why is it that there's such a high forecast in overall market cap for stablecoins? What is driving that? It's not crypto. That's going to be some of it. But we have a new wave of innovations, and the traditional financial markets are coming in, and institutions, but in a very different way than the XRP community and influencers perceive it to be. And this is going to usher in institutional DeFi. And Marcus Infanger, the senior VP of RippleX, says we are at the start of a paradigm shift, and we're seeing traditional financial institutions not only deploy pilots tokenizing real-world assets, but we are having conversations with asset managers, banks, developers who are interested in tokenizing financial assets on public blockchains that can reduce friction and pain points and solve liquidity problems. Monica Long, president of Ripple, says issuing our stablecoin on the XRP Ledger and Ethereum will serve as a pivotal entry point to unlock new opportunities for institutional DeFi use cases across multiple ecosystems.
I do think that like institutional DeFi is going to grow over the next 1 to 3 years, but I think it may be helpful to define sort of like what I mean by institutional DeFi, because it's one of those terms that people throw around that people might have, different definitions of. What I mean is DeFi projects built on decentralized layer ones that are aimed at institutional requirements and use cases. Like just to give an example, you're not going to see institutional adoption of DeFi that doesn't have sanction screening. It's just not going to happen, because these are like strict liability regimes where like if you can't not fund terrorists, if you want to do something and no matter how diligent you are, you may wind up funding terrorists, you're just not going to do it. Right? But like it's never going to get institutional adoption if it doesn't have those capabilities. So what I think we're going to start to see are DeFi applications that can preserve as much of the they probably won't be able to preserve like 100% of the benefits of decentralization, but they will be able to preserve the benefits of sort of like guaranteed fairness to the participants. They will be able to preserve the benefit that there won't be somebody who has the legal right to sort of take the system and leave, and shut it down and lead with it. I think we're going to see those types of systems over the next couple of years get institutional adoption. One of the obstacles is these very, very general purpose systems. EVM sidechain, EVM chains are very general purpose, and you can build anything on them. But the part of the problem with that is that the tooling becomes different for every decentralized application. And so if you have 100 decentralized applications, you have 100 different tools and 100 different front ends and 100 different flows you have to learn. The XRP Ledger has kind of picked a different strategy where there's a set of fixed functions that are understood by all the tools. And so I think that will help. And of course, you can focus on the use cases that have the most traction for institutional adoption instead of, again, trying to boil the ocean. But products are going to have to get more mature. They're going to have compliance capability. They're going to have focusing on stability. And the market needs to develop some sort of loop of growing institutional interest with some proven success cases. We're over a decade into this. And to some extent, it's always dangerous when you say what's going to happen, when you try to pick a time frame. To some extent, like we've come really, really far in a decade. And to some extent, it also, I have to admit, like the cynic in me sometimes feels like we haven't really gotten anywhere. Like people are still not using cryptocurrencies for payments. Like, let's be honest, like that's where the product market fit is really good. And they're not, there's a lot of volatility, which I think is, and I think we do think that like that's going to start to go away. Like the logic of economics says it has to. Like you can't really have a highly volatile asset just because there's volatility is a profit opportunity, and so somebody should be turning that volatility into revenue. We have massive pools of liquidity now. Like the trade volumes are enormous. So I think we are set up for the next couple of years. I think one sign is like giants like Bank of America, JP Morgan are starting to. You have to be careful with them because they want to seem like they're on the forefront of technology, but also they're very successful companies. So like if they could push stop on technology, they would. Like if you're one of the top 5 banks in the world, you don't want anything to change. You want the world to stay exactly the way it is. And most of your hyping of technology is going to be defensive. But if you look, like their customers are really recognizing the potential of these technologies, and they're realizing that they are going to have to adopt them if they want to remain relevant. There's the story of Apple eating the music industry. Sony could have made the iPod, but Apple did. And I think nobody wants to be in the position that to have the technology industry eat finance. None of the established companies want that to be happening. And I think Ripple through the XRP Ledger is right at the nexus of that convergence of these DeFi technologies with institutional adoption and focusing on the specific problems that are necessary, like I said, like sanction screening and other things that institutions are they're gonna have to have. They're gonna have to have if they're gonna be part of this ecosystem.
The XRP Ledger's native capabilities, the DEX and the AMM liquidity pools, and in development is the borrowing and lending protocol. Now with the stablecoin, you have the 3 core pillars of DeFi being built in to the native XRP Ledger, and they all will utilize XRP in some way, shape, or form. And XRP will always be a bridge asset on its native network because it's a currency exchange and a payment network. Bringing a trusted stablecoin onto the XRPL will drive more adoption and development, contributing to a vibrant ecosystem. This is Ripple's first major stablecoin, but it isn't their first venture into the market. So Ripple's been testing CBDCs on their first version of the private XRP Ledger for 2 years. Then they created an enhanced version. They're no stranger to this. And this stablecoin is going to be an absolute complement for XRP. And we'll talk a little more about why that is. A week ago, Ripple released a white paper with Medico on stablecoins. This should not come as a surprise to anyone in this space who's been following along. And what is really the ultimate goal for Ripple and what they see as a market and what David Schwartz has been talking about? Monica Long continues to say, president of Ripple, Marcus Infanger, VP of RippleX. Those are the greatest insights you're going to get from those who are Not the CEO who's just, the public face, calling houses, never going to give away the details. But everybody under him, that's where you get the insights. But nobody listens and nobody processes it. And they're obsessed with Bank of America. The AMMs are about to launch. XRP cannot have liquidity if it doesn't have tokenized fiat. And if the goal here is to conquer the market and create a liquidity hub, we're going on a journey. And it's not institutions are around the corner and they're coming and the price is going to go to the moon. The XRP is evolving as an ecosystem. And at its heart is the AMM. The AMM pools are not just another feature. They are the foundation for a new financial landscape with the AMM's integration into the XRP Ledger's existing decentralized exchange. We witness the birth of a strategy that serves liquidity providers, not exploits them. David Schwartz, the brain behind the systemic shift, has crafted a mechanism where the assets of liquidity providers aren't just stored, they're actively employed in the trading strategy to harvest volatility for yield. And the continuous auction mechanism drives competition amongst arbitrageurs who bid for the rights to arbitrage at near zero fees, and that revenue goes back to the liquidity providers. A concept as revolutionary as it is profitable. And that is on another level. And I don't care what attorney on Twitter says this, that, Uniswap got sued. It don't matter. It's built into the blockchain. It is the most decentralized you can possibly be. But the rewards don't end here. The unification of liquidity at the network layer stands as a testament to XRP's unique approach to market making. This isn't just about enhancing efficiency. It's about defining the very foundation of liquidity provision, the vanguard of institutional DeFi, XRP's quest for the Holy Grail. As we look into the future, institutional DeFi is clear on the horizon. This Holy Grail isn't just a goal. It's the inevitable destination of a journey, the tokenization of real-world assets, and the rise of institutional DeFi on the XRP Ledger signal the start of a new financial system.
Yeah, I think there are two really interesting audiences that we both address, and it'll be a complementary relationship in that regard. You look at the DeFi ecosystem and what you guys are trying to accomplish with the EVM sidechain and the relationship between that and XRPL, the amount of depth and liquidity that Ripple has the capability to bring on, and what that'll enable for DeFi users and existing Web3 natives. And then you also look at institutional use cases and what this will enable for the distribution of real-world assets. So our goal is to make XRPL one of the primary hubs for issuing and trading real-world assets, starting with stablecoins and moving into tokenized treasuries as well. And so I think that you guys really have the reputation that's needed in order to bring on some of these TradFi institutions into the space. And then Axelar can complementary be the distribution channel that allows users and liquidity that exist on all these other ecosystems to have access to those assets.
This move extends Ripple's reach into both institutional and DeFi realms, diversifying use cases and enhancing our payments infrastructure to bring the world of traditional and decentralized finance closer together, Ripple stablecoin will be backed by US dollar deposits, US government bonds, and cash equivalents, and Ripple pledges transparency with monthly third-party attestations, ensuring trust and reliability. Stablecoins serve as a pivotal entry point to DeFi, and introducing a trusted enterprise-grade stablecoin to the XRP Ledger will generate more use cases, liquidity, and opportunities for developers and users alike. They've continuously repeated the same things over and over, but the community has conversations about something completely else. I don't understand it. I really don't, to this day. Simultaneously, we know the future of crypto is multi-chain, so launching the stablecoin on both the XRPL and Ethereum opens doors to cross-chain interoperability. So why did they do that? Because we want it on the EVM sidechain. So now it's issued as an ERC20 on the Ethereum mainnet, which is like, the original EVM chain. So that's where you want it as like the original issuance. And then it'll get bridged all over to the EVM sidechain. And now you have it in ERC20 form. So that's the best of both worlds now. That's awesome. And, it's possible they can be used for different purposes, but one will have, programmability, and will probably most likely stay on the EVM sidechain because that is going to need a stable coin for the DeFi that happens there. But as you're going to hear soon, Axelar plus the XLS38D amendment and Axelar's general message passing service like Layer Cake, you're going to be able to call contracts right from the mainnet XRP Ledger of your XRP wallet and execute them on the EVM sidechain to the main chain.
You talk for just maybe 30 seconds about how you see the compatibility of XRPL and the EVM sidechain that you guys are building?
Yeah. So I think it ties back to the example I gave before. XRPL is really great at value transfer. It's incredibly fast and cheap payments, cost less than a fraction of a penny, and executes in a second or two. And there's also a native decentralized exchange that's based on order books. Hopefully that's soon to be expanded to include integrated automated market making in addition to the order books based trading system. So trading and value transfer is definitely a sweet spot there. But when it comes to more complex operations or highly specific financial protocols, that's not the sweet spot, and the XRP Ledger community doesn't necessarily want it to be. So that's where we can really lean on our Axelar partnership, use general message passing, and actually allow applications to develop their tokenization engine on XRPL mainnet, their trading engine on XRPL mainnet, and then tap into advanced derivatives and other capabilities on the EVM sidechain. And those users never actually have to move their wallet or interact with the sidechain itself. So it's a very seamless experience and really allows for the best of both worlds, and is made possible by Axelar and GMP. So definitely excited about that.
That's awesome. We're very excited for this partnership. For anybody that's interested in learning more, feel free to grab me or feel free to check out Axelar at axelar.network.
Yeah, thanks so much, James. Really appreciate your time and insights here.
Thanks, Jazzy.
This is where Crossmark comes in. Crossmark is providing the missing link, bridging the gap between the XRP Ledger and the EVM sidechain. This way, users can choose which network they'd like to use on a daily basis. The key maker. So a lot of people think the main responsibility of a wallet is to send and receive payments. While this is true, wallets also serve an important role in creating new wallets on the networks. By taking advantage of the underlying encryption mechanism on both the XRP Ledger protocol and the EVM protocol, we can use one private key to generate two wallets, one wallet that lives on the XRP Ledger and one wallet that lives on the EVM sidechain. In doing this, users can seamlessly move funds between wallets and only have to manage one private key. We are different than our competitors. In addition to offering low fees and quick settlement times, we also offer a platform that enables DeFi in our wallet. We also have a built-in card design feature, which is sort of like our X factor, which allows users to customize their experience, making us the most customizable wallet in crypto today.
I will tell you this. In an AMM liquidity pool of Ripple stablecoin and XRP, you don't need a trust line to Ripple stablecoin to deposit XRP liquidity. You could enter a single deposit and withdraw a single deposit XRP, having no trust line to Ripple, no connection to them. Ripple stablecoin will not, I repeat, will not have clawback, because you can't use clawback and the AMMs in the AMM. Why is that? Because the LP token can't be clawed back, and the LP token is made up of half of both assets. It can't be clawed back technically. It's impossible, because the issuer has no rights over the LP token. They have no connection to it. And the user of the LP token has a trust line to the root account, which is controlled by nobody. And it's redeemable at any time by anyone who possesses that LP token. Now, if you wanted to withdraw into all of the stablecoin, single withdraw or 50-50, it's not going to let you unless you have an authorized trust line to Ripple and the Ripple stablecoin. But you could come out in all XRP. Now you pay a fee for that, and you got to watch for slippage. But that's a way for 8 billion people to provide liquidity. So for those who say they believe it's only for institutions, believe whatever you want. It's a fairy tale story in your own mind, because it's a fact that every single person on the planet is community-driven, decentralized, open, public blockchains and the internet of value. Wake up. But on that note, so I'm Mickey B. Fresh, and I'm out.
So I was always of the mind that this system was going to be ripe for some kind of a disruption. And when I saw DeFi, I started to see where that disruption was going to come from. And I started to understand that this is going to be where it goes. And what I've tried to tell people is, what you need to understand about this new DeFi system is it will start in the third world, and it will grow from there into the second world, third world, and then it will come here and completely flatten you. United States, I don't see us in any way being the leader in this. I think we are going to, it's going to be rammed down our throat is what it's going to be. And it just occurred to me that this is a brand new financial system and that this is going to replace the current CeFi financial system. you